Alright guys, Tom here and welcome to a new video, and today I am doing a review of Monday Night Raw, WWE Monday Night Raw for the 12th of August 2013, and to be honest, this show was not great whatsoever. The build for the two main events, John Cena and Daniel Bryan, and the Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk feud build was really good. Apart from that, this show was actually really boring. The actual match quality was okay, but the actual build for the mid card and the lower card of SummerSlam 2013 was really poor. There was hardly any build whatsoever really for the mid card or the lower card, which did make for a really boring show. Apart from the Battle Royale, which was kind of for the kickoff show, apart from that, it kind of led... You still had questions for SummerSlam, even though this is the last Monday Night Raw. They should be tying everything up in a neat bow, everything answered, and making you want to buy that pay-per-view for SummerSlam 2013. But I left Monday Night Raw thinking, do I actually want to watch SummerSlam? I mean, apart from the Brock Lesnar and CM Punk feud and the Cena and Daniel Bryan feud, there isn't really a lot I can get behind because the build has been so good for these two matches. There's been hardly any build for the other matches, and they've literally just squeezed a few matches out of tonight's Monday Night Raw just to get a few more matches on the actual show, because apart from these two matches, there's some really good matches as well, but apart from them, they've just thrown a few matches on out of nowhere, like the Ziggler match. They've thrown on the Rob Van Dam and Dean Ambrose match. Looks like they're going to throw in a Shield versus Big Show, and using Mark Henry and Big Show to take on the Shield. It just looks a little bit thrown together for the last minute, apart from the two main events, which is actually really disappointing for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. SummerSlam was destined to be the best pay-per-view of the year, but for the mid-card and the lower card, considering it's all been thrown together, it's really spoiled the pay-per-view for me, and really tainted a possible really good actual show, which I was actually really looking forward to. I've been looking forward to this show ever since the start of the summer, considering I've been looking at all like the dirt sheets and the rumors and stuff. This show sounded really good, the SummerSlam 2013 show, but this week's Monday Night Raw, the going out show for SummerSlam, is supposed to make you interested and want to buy the pay-per-view, but it didn't do that at all. It made you think, what, they've got to bring a lot out at SmackDown to really tie this all up in a neat bow and make you want to actually buy the pay-per-view. But also they've still got one or two matches that they actually need to confirm and really get on the actual match card, because the build for the mid card and lower card was awful today, guys, for Monday Night Raw. Apart from the two main events, there was hardly any build whatsoever, and if there was build, they did it completely wrong. So we're going to start off with the first match, which was Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett. Now, the actual start of the show was actually really fast paced. They really got it going, which made me think, like, wow, they've actually done something well here. They're getting on with the show. They're going to pack a lot in tonight, guys. Make me excited and make me want to buy the show. You guys know I never buy the show because I just watch a live stream, but maybe they're going to pack a lot in today, guys, and do really well, but they didn't do that. They did the opposite. Now, this is in Sacramento, California for the 12th of August 2013 Monday Night Raw. But apart from this match, which was Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett, which at the start I was confused why they did this match, because this is actually the second rematch we've had in the past week. We had these two guys face off on Friday Night SmackDown, which was an okay match. It spread over 2 commercial breaks, but this match itself spread over 2 commercial breaks as well. And at the start, Wade Barrett was already out at the start of the show, and then Daniel Bryan came out of nowhere. It felt a bit rushed. Not really going to complain about that. I like the fact that Wade Barrett is kind of getting a lot of TV time recently. Maybe not for the right reasons. Well, he's kind of been jobbing quite a lot recently. You can say that, really. He's pretty much every time he's been on TV, he's been the one that's been jobbing. But I was like, oh, I was getting ready to say this in my review. Oh, another job match for Wade Barrett, when they're actually going to use this talent. But surprisingly, they did actually use Wade Barrett to further this feud between Mr. McMahon and Triple H, which kind of proves that Wade Barrett, they have decent plans for Wade Barrett. I mean, they could have picked anybody, but they chose Wade Barrett to pursue a better, bigger feud for Triple H and Mr. McMahon, which it did actually grow through the show, this feud, and how important what Wade Barrett did, or why he was in this match to start off with. Now, there wasn't a referee at the start of the show, and I was wondering, when Brad Maddox came down, I was like, well, what are they doing here? Is this some kind of joke, or did they completely forget to get a referee down since it was so rushed? But then I twigged straight away, oh, Brad Maddox is going to have something to do with this match, and he's going to cost the match in some way. And to be fair, this match was actually pretty good. It was really fast-paced. There wasn't a lot of pinfalls. In fact, there was hardly any pinfalls. I don't think there was one pinfall until the actual pinfall that won the match. Now, the match itself was actually really, really fast-paced. I mean, it went outside the ring maybe 3 or 4 times. It was quite good, quite entertaining. But at the end of the day, it didn't really do a lot for Daniel Bryan or Wade Barrett. It was more about Mr. McMahon and Triple H's feud leading up to WrestleMania 30 rather than the Daniel Bryan and John Cena feud. It was more something further afield. It wasn't to maybe an eye that doesn't really understand wrestling. You would have thought, oh, this kind of pursues the John Cena and Daniel Bryan feud, but at the end of the day, this feud's kind of only happening to make bigger things and more money for WrestleMania 30 for Mr. McMahon and Triple H, and at the end of the day, didn't really do a lot for the actual feud. I mean, as soon as Daniel Bryan was about to hit his finisher or was on his signature where he does the yes, yes, yes kicks, Wade Barrett did a really, really clever move. Sorry about that, where he went to pin Daniel Bryan, and Brad Maddox did what he did at Hell in a Cell, where went 1, 2, 3 really, really quick. Wade Barrett got the victory, and Daniel Bryan was just about to flip and hit out at Brad Maddox, and Brad Maddox ran away. But apart from that, it didn't really do a lot. Until further in the show, for Daniel Bryan, didn't really do a lot. It did more for Mr. McMahon and Triple H's feud. It didn't really do a lot for Daniel Bryan. Now, the match itself was quite entertaining. There was a nice move outside the ring where Daniel Bryan jumped out the top rope. Probably give this match a 7 out of 10. I didn't like how it ended. I kind of thought, oh, you kind of ruined a decent match. But at the end of the day, if they're going to be building this Mr. McMahon and Triple H feud till WrestleMania 30, they must have very, very big plans. Now, next up, we had Randy Orton taking on Damien Sandow for the second time in 3 weeks. Now, this match itself was actually really, really good. You had Cody Rhodes at ringside commentary, and to be honest, he is not good at ringside commentary whatsoever. He is absolutely awful. They've done it a few times where Damien Sandow's been on ringside commentary, but he just isn't entertaining. He just doesn't come out with the right wording or the right views. Something like that. It just doesn't really click with Cody. I guess it clicks with certain people and not some other people. I mean, when Sandow comes up, he's just magic with the mic, but maybe not so with Cody Rhodes. He just didn't really click with the mic today, guys. He doesn't usually really. He's not that great on the mic. I mean, he always looks around the arena for a reaction, but he never seems to get that reaction. Now, Randy Orton did get a very tainted reaction. He didn't get a very big reaction. He wasn't reacting as much as he usually does with the crowd. Whether this is to create this kind of mystic kind of feel towards Randy Orton, well, what's he actually going to do at SummerSlam? It's kind of bringing that unpredictability now. He stopped reacting with the crowd. Maybe they were testing his heel-ish kind of reaction by the crowd at this point, or they just wanted to keep Randy Orton on the back burner, so the crowd aren't reacting that much for Randy Orton, so that when he does cash in, they're not kind of expecting it, and they're not fully behind him. But when he does come out, they're like, oh my god, it's Randy Orton. Let's all get really excited. Now, for Damien Sandow, he put on a really, really good match, and to be honest, he came out with the briefcase, and he handcuffed the briefcase to one of the ring posts using some handcuffs, and the briefcase looks like a Harry Potter chest, but Cody Rhodes went for this whilst he was on commentary. It was way too predictable he was going to get involved, to be honest, guys, but I hated the ending, because this match was actually really, really good, but then Cody Rhodes went to unhook the briefcase. He was obviously not going to get it because he handcuffed it, but then Damien Sandow got distracted, And then Randy Orton hit an RKO out of nowhere, which completely killed the crowd. It was a great match until that point when Randy Orton managed to pick up the victory. It completely spoiled a really, really good crowd. But I know why they did this, because as soon as Damien Sandow was distracted and Randy Orton hit the RKO, it proved that Randy Orton couldn't defeat Damien Sandow with a clean victory, and Damien Sandow needed to be distracted for Randy Orton to get that victory, which is actually clever on WWE's part, but also not clever as well because it kind of ruined a decent match. But it proves that Randy Orton couldn't pin Damien Sandow with a clean victory, which does lead to me to wonder that Damien Sandow is probably going to win at SummerSlam, considering Randy Orton didn't win with a clean victory today on Monday Night Raw over Damien Sandow. It was very, very clever by WWE, but also the RKO was very, very predictable. But you know why they did it, to do this so that Damien Sandow doesn't look as weak going into SummerSlam 2013, which does pretty much make it open-ended, because usually the person that goes up on the high horse into their pay-per-view match usually loses. But the favourite's got to be Damien Sandow, the Money in the Bank winner. But you've also got to have that inevitability that maybe Cody Rhodes, maybe since so many people were thinking he was actually going to win it, maybe this is actually Damien Sandow going to lose this briefcase to, maybe some might say, a better person to hold that Money in the Bank briefcase. But I don't know, since he customized the briefcase, does that make you kind of think, well, maybe since he customized it, then maybe Damien Sandow is definitely going to win? But then when Cody Rhodes wins, you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Maybe that's why they did do that. Or maybe Cody Rhodes chucked it in the river just to cause a bit of a spark and make the feud last a bit longer, make it a bit more spicy and juicy. Or you could think of it in that way, like, oh, Cody Rhodes has won. That's not really his briefcase, but he won. But then they could use that as a feud again, like Damien Sandow got his briefcase stolen by Cody Rhodes, and you could carry on that feud again. And maybe I'm looking a bit far-fetched here, but the reaction for Randy Orton was a bit tainted. He wasn't reacting with the crowd a lot. That's what I wanted to get from this actual match. Damien Sandow did not lose from a clean victory, which is great. He goes into SummerSlam kind of not really losing, which is good, but still losing so that Randy Orton has that momentum, but also Damien Sandow didn't lose that momentum. Cody Rhodes won that momentum. So everybody in this match kind of went out quite well, which is quite clever on WWE's part. So for that match, I give it an 8 out of 10. If this was just a normal Randy Orton match and Damien Sandow wasn't going into a pay-per-view match, I would have been quite annoyed because it ruined a great match. But the actual build towards that and how they cleverly made Damien Sandow not really lose was quite clever. Now, the next segment was Dean Ambrose announcing that there would be a 20-man battle royale to decide who would be his United States champion #1 contender for the kickoff show on the YouTube live stream that nobody cares about. But at least Dean Ambrose is getting onto the actual match card, or well, you could say it's the match card, and he does actually get a decent competitor. You'll find out later tonight. We get a cutscene for Rob Van Dam. We get a nice promo backstage by CM Punk being interviewed by Josh Matthews. There wasn't really a lot to say about this. Basically, he says, I got Brock Lesnar on Sunday. I have a feeling I'll be seeing a little bit of him tonight. It's pretty much what he said. It was kind of to kill a little bit of time. And now the next match, where Raw really, really started to go downhill. You had the Great Khali, Natalya teaming up to take on AJ Lee and Big E Langston. And you'd expect AJ Lee and Big E Langston to pick up the victory here, guys, wouldn't you? Well, you'd be wrong. The Great Khali and Natalya got the victory here. Now, AJ Lee tapped out whilst Natalya was half getting in the submission maneuver, which was freaking awkward. And then when Natalya went into the middle of the ring for her handshake by the referee, she didn't realise the match was still going on, so she got her in the submission again and she tapped out cleanly. It was so awkward. I don't know what AJ Lee was doing. It was just really, really awkward. I'm confused why they made Natalya and Khali win. Now, come on. I thought they were going to be jobbing to AJ Lee and Big E Langston, but no. Natalya and Khali won. I mean, this match gave nothing for Natalya and the Great Khali. I can't think why making AJ Lee and Big E Langston go into the match on Sunday with a loss, because I'm predicting they're going to lose anyway due to a miscommunication by either Biggie Langston and AJ Lee. So why would they go in with a loss when the prediction is they're going to lose anyway? It doesn't, it kind of makes you think, well, that's not that unpredictable really, is it? So I don't really know what they were doing here. It was really, really bad booking. I wasn't surprised AJ Lee and Biggie Langston got on the card. I was also expecting Dolph Ziggler and Kane to also get on the card. They didn't get on the card. But Natalya and the Great Khali, come on. They could have... Stupid match. 4 out of 10, Bret Hart would say. It was terrible. Stupid, stupid match. What were they thinking? Why did they make Khali and Natalya win? Terrible, terrible booking. But anyway, Biggie Langston attacked Hornswoggle at the end of the match. And then you saw a segment with Miss McMahon walking backstage and was out for the segment in the middle of the ring where he was interviewing Brad Maddox. Why did he do that? And then basically what Vince McMahon says was, Brad Maddox said, could I referee the SummerSlam 2013 match between John Cena and Daniel Bryan to prove that I'm worthy of doing a job as a referee? Now, all the crowd says, no, no, no. Now, the first thing I was a bit confused about was when Miss McMahon first came out when he was entering the ring, he was acting like a face. He was reacting well with the crowd. The crowd were, you know, clapping. They were bowing down to him. But then he turned on this heelish character straight as he got onto the mic, which I was really, really confused about. It was a bit strange, but... And then he started being heelish to a heel being Brad Maddox, which was quite weird as well. Now, I really wanted Brad Maddox to be the referee at SummerSlam 2013. But then Triple H came out. And Triple H pedigreed Brad Maddox and wrote himself into the referee spot. Now, this just takes the edge off a brilliant match, possibly the feud of the year between Cena and Daniel Bryan, two of the biggest stars in the WWE at the moment, bar possibly CM Punk. And now you've got another huge big ego who's going to he's just going to take the eyes off a decent match and get all the eyes on him, Triple H being the referee. It just completely ruins a decent match. I did not like that at all. He pedigreed Brad Maddox, who is supposed to be the GM of Raw, has completely no power whatsoever. Why? Now you've got a big ego being Triple H, who's now going to completely ruin a decent feud at SummerSlam 2013 to pursue a bigger feud between Mr. McMahon and Triple H. I mean, when Triple H came out, he didn't even get that big of a pop because it's same old Triple H. It's literally same old shit. And now Triple H is going to be using this match to pursue a better feud later on in the year at WrestleMania 30. So the John Cena versus Daniel Bryan feud is really not going to be used to what it could possibly be used to, just so they could make a WrestleMania 30 feud. It's just, oh my god. Why did they have to use They could have even used Shawn Michaels or something like that, but no, they had to use Triple H. So the next match was Kane versus Titus O'Neil, which was a clean victory by Kane using the chokeslam. The Primetime players are a great talent, but they've now turned into jobbers, which is absolutely retarded because they're great talent. They've just got a bit of dose of jobbers and don't do anything anymore. Kane won with the chokeslam. The Wyatt family came out. Bray Wyatt sat on his armchair, and then Eric Rowan and Luke Harper went into the ring when the lights went on. Kane wasn't there. He was on the ramp, and then Kane did his hands thing. The ring set on fire. Well, the 4 ring posts, and then that just went off air. Now, after that match was 1 out of 10. It was completely pointless. It was kind of good for Kane because it means he goes out onto SummerSlam 2013 on a high. But come on, the Primetime players who have been jobbing for the past few weeks kind of wasted good TV time when they could have used somebody like Fandango, somebody who kind of means a little bit more than the Primetime players. I mean, Christian, kind of. I mean, a few of the guys who are in the 20-man Battle Royale, like Ryback, maybe they could have put on a decent match with Ryback. Khali even, who had a main event match at 2009 at SummerSlam. You could have even had Khali, who would have kind of put over Kane, kind of. So that match was 1 out of 10. It was awful. Now, the next bit was a segment with the Bella twins backstage, and shit. Oh my god. Brie looks so fucking hot. I'd bang her so much. She is hot as hell. But as Natalya kind of disrupted the kind of segment, she said, "Oh, your makeup looks nice. I can barely notice your bruise I slapped you with last week." And then they set up a match between Natalya and I believe it was Nikki Bella for next week on the pay-per-view SummerSlam 2013. So they're using the Total Divas show and promoting that on SummerSlam, a paid show where Dean Ambrose could have a decent match against RVD on the full match card. However, Natalya and Nikki Bella are taking that place. You know where I'm coming from? It's just a fucking joke. So they're going to promote Total Divas, which airs at the same time as SummerSlam, just to waste our money, our time, to promote this stupid, retarded, actually decent TV program. But I'd much rather have RVD and Dean Ambrose on the full match card. Now, Alberto Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston was a decent match. I mean, not surprised Kofi Kingston lost here, guys, because I was expecting him to come on a winning streak as soon as he came back. But they fell into the trap by putting Kofi Kingston against Alberto Del Rio, who Alberto Del Rio, of course, won, giving him some momentum going into a SummerSlam match against Christian. Christian wasn't on tonight's Monday Night Raw, which was kind of surprising, but Kofi Kingston lost. I mean, he's just come back. He doesn't need to lose. It's a waste of talent making him lose. I mean, there's a new talent who's just come back who deserves to win. He needs to win to keep his momentum up. Loses to the World Heavyweight Champion. It was a good match, which was great. Showed great. Just made both opponents look really, really good. There were some great maneuvers. But now Kofi Kingston's momentum's gone right back to zero. The match itself was really good. Del Rio won, gave him momentum. 7 out of 10 matches, a pretty good match, but Del Rio came out and he tried to get the crowd behind him. He started flinging his arms around, trying to get the crowd behind him. Didn't get a reaction at all. Kofi Kingston did the same, didn't get a reaction at all. They put these two guys, this is basically the reaction that will happen on SummerSlam. Christian versus Del Rio. Two guys who get no reaction. Same as Kofi. He needs a heel turn. He's been the same guy ever since he came into the WWE, and he's just boring. He didn't get a reaction at all. The crowd did not give a fuck about this match at all. It was so embarrassing. It was so cringy. Nobody cared. Even though the match itself was good. I mean, God, nobody cared about this match at all. The crowd did not give a fuck about this match. It was just, oh my God. It was a great match, but the momentum's lost by Kofi now. Momentum given to Del Rio, the champion. Is Christian going to go overcome the odds? I hope so. But both of them don't get a decent reaction, so I'd rather neither of them get the championship, to be honest. Or Del Rio really needs to lose that strap. It really proved tonight how bad of a reaction he does get against Kofi Kingston. And if he does retain at SummerSlam, I literally never watch WWE again, because the reaction he got just proves why he shouldn't be the World Heavyweight Champion tonight. They might even have done it to prove how bad his reaction was. Now, Kofi Kingston always does that thing where he comes back maybe 3 times in a match, tries to get the crowd behind him. The crowd don't care because he gets no reaction whatsoever. Makes for a boring, stale, predictable match. And then the heel came out as the winner, Alberto Del Rio. Said pretty much we can say about that match. I mean, Kofi Kingston really needs a heel turn. He's a great talent, but you're not going to go far when you don't get a good crowd reaction. Contradicting to what Del Rio's done, where he's the World Heavyweight Champion, gets no reaction. I don't have a clue what they're doing there. If he doesn't lose the strap at SummerSlam, I don't know what I'll do with myself. But Del Rio won with a cross arm breaker. He did an awesome code breaker where Kofi Kingston jumped off the top rope and tried to do a crossbody, but Del Rio managed to get the code breaker which was freaking sick, but nobody gives a fuck because nobody reacts for these guys. Even Michael Cole didn't say anything. So they could have saved that match for maybe SummerSlam. Maybe they'll even do that match. Maybe that was just like maybe they chose Kofi because he's kind of like the same competitor as Christian. They were kind of gearing him up. Maybe use some similar spots. Maybe like that. Can't really think why they would have teamed him up with Kofi against Kofi. It was kind of strange because both guys don't really get a reaction. I was kind of confused about that. So Christian was backstage. Del Rio joined him. Kind of had a short promo. Didn't really mean a lot. The Real Americans took on the Usos for the second time in 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw. The Usos won from a really, really good ending, actually. The match itself was probably the best match of the night, surprisingly, but no build to SummerSlam whatsoever, so I won't really talk about that actual bit a lot because it had no build towards SummerSlam, actually. No build. Wasted, what, 10, 20 minutes, but the match itself was actually really, really good. I didn't actually fall asleep this whole show because some of the good bits were good, like the actual bits where I was getting bored, I wasn't tired, and the bits where I was tired, I could keep asleep. I don't really know what's going on, and then fucking hell. This match was good. You got one of the Usos gave a super kick to Antonio Cesaro's on the top rope. And then one of the Usos jumped off the top rope to go for the frog splash. One of the Usos tagged him whilst he went for the frog splash and gave a roll-up pin to Jack Swagger. You'll have to watch that because it was actually a really, really good ending. I mean, both of the Usos managed to do a diving thing out of the ring, which is awesome. The match itself was awesome. I give it a 9 out of 10 for match, but building 1 out of 10 because it had no build whatsoever. The Real Americans are on a losing streak. They're supposed to be a new tag team. But now they're jobbers. So what was the point of making them look so strong at the Money in the Bank match, yet for them to job all the time? Now, the next bit was Miz TV. This was probably one of the best promos, apart from the Paul Heyman and CM Punk promo we got a few weeks back on Monday Night Raw. This was so good. This was so edgy from Cena. I really dug his promo. It was basically where Daniel Bryan was saying he was a bit of a... What did he say? His show was a bit of a parody. Cena's a bit of a parody. And it was awesome. Daniel Bryan says he's a wrestler. Cena says... He said Cena was an entertainer. The actual promo was really, really edgy. Cena looked really, really pissed off. It was really, really believable. I loved it. It was a really, really good promo. Leaves it really open-ended whether Cena's going to win or Daniel Bryan's going to win. I mean, Cena got no reaction when he was doing this promo. Even though I was writing it at home, I was marking out. I thought it was a really, really good promo. But Daniel Bryan got a huge pop, which just proves even more why Daniel Bryan should win at SummerSlam. So, this actual segment was good. It ended up with Triple H coming in, who threw a chair, then didn't say anything. Then Randy Orton came out, held up his Money in the Bank. I mean, I'd much rather they didn't do this, where it's going to make it unpredictable, where they should have just completely forgot about Randy Orton. But it looks like they're making it obvious Randy Orton's going to cash in, which makes me think maybe Randy Orton isn't going to cash in, or Miss McMahon's going to make him cash in and make him run to the ring or something like that. I just don't like the fact that it's not going to be unpredictable, seeing as Randy Orton's just been put in the spotlight with his Money in the Bank. He's kind of been the middleman in this feud all along, which kind of takes the unpredictability out of it. And then he just had Triple H standing in the ring. I mean, I would have much rather had this bit end the actual show, apart from the last 30 seconds where Triple H ruined it. Oh, I'm losing my throat. Oh. Triple H ruined that bit, but this actual segment was great. 8 out of 10. Great build for the SummerSlam 2000 pay-per-view. Looking forward to it. Fandango vs R-Truth for dance-off didn't mean anything at all. You had a segment. Oh, for that match, I'd give it 0 out of 10 because it ended in a no contest. It didn't even start. Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman were backstage. Heyman said he was regretting doing this challenge where Brock Lesnar says, "Don't say something stupid." Brock Lesnar gave the match to Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman said, "I'll have a match with CM Punk." What a freaking retard. 20-man Battle Royale. I thought Matt Henry was going to win this. Rob Van Dam won. This match is going to be great. I said this against Kane and Dean Ambrose Payback 2013, but this match is going to be great. RVD has never looked any better. He gets such a huge crowd reaction. The crowd were chanting RVD through the whole match. This match is going to be awesome. One of the biggest heels, Dean Ambrose, against one of the biggest faces and one of the biggest guys who gets a pop in the WWE at the moment. RVD. It's going to be a great match for the US title. I don't think RVD is going to retain. Even though it's no job Rob, I think Dean Ambrose is going to retain and Rob Van Dam's going to put over Dean Ambrose. I'm hoping anyway. It made Ryback look very strong. It made Mark Henry look very strong as well. Apart from that, it made the Real Americans look quite strong as well. But why are you going to make them strong when they jobbed earlier in the night? For this match, he went over 2 commercial breaks. It was pretty good. I liked how RVD won, so I'll give that an 8 out of 10. Maybe a bit nice on that prediction. It ended with a Mark Henry and RVD fist pump. The Shield music came down. I tweeted, Big Show's coming out. Big Show came out. You had to stare down. Maybe they'll announce on Friday Night SmackDown that Mark Henry and Big Show will team up to take on the Shield for the tag titles. I don't know. Seems a bit late for me. I know Big Show is a little bit injured, but the crowd's reaction, it kind of... The crowd didn't care when Big Show came out, I'm sorry to say. I mean, they tried to hype his return 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. The crowd didn't care. I'm sorry. Big Show, the crowd did not care. I think that's the first time I've seen Big Show wear normal attire. He's returned as a face. Don't agree with that at all. I don't like Mark Henry as a face. I can't take him seriously. Don't like Big Show either as a face. I think he works more as a face as Mark Henry, but they both don't work as a face that well. Stupid WWE. Why did you do this? Come on, Big Show's like one of the biggest heels in the company, and now you're going to make him return as a face. He did have a face promo when he was going to return, but he didn't return, so not surprised about that. He had the last segment... The last segment was Paul Heyman, CM Punk, and Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman came out and said, "You're the hero, CM Punk. You're probably going to come out when Brock Lesnar and me are out in the ring. You're going to do something stupid." CM Punk came out. It was obvious he was going to come behind, but something cool happened where CM Punk nicked the camera, attacked Brock Lesnar from behind with the camera. I hope it's a fake camera because they're worth 80 grand, them cameras, by the way. And he attacked Paul Heyman. Well, he tries to run after him. He tapped Brock Lesnar, took him out of the ground, attacked Curtis Axel with a GTS, and the show ended with that, guys. So that's pretty much my Raw review for that segment. It was okay. It was quite predictable, actually. The match didn't actually happen, which is false advertising. Yeah, we knew that match wasn't really going to happen in a contest anyway. Didn't happen how I thought it would be. I thought it would start straight away, and then Brock Lesnar would come out and just attack CM Punk. Didn't do that, which is pretty good on WWE's part. They kind of didn't make it that predictable. But then Paul Heyman said what his plan was, which kind of took the point out of why wouldn't they do that anyway. But apart from this week's Monday Night Raw, the build was okay. I mean, the build for Cena and Daniel Bryan has been great. The build for Brock Lesnar and CM Punk was also quite good on this show. It was kind of left till the last few minutes. Also, looking forward to RVD versus Dean Ambrose. Sorry that the Intercontinental Champion Curtis Axel's not on the card. Expecting Mark Henry and Big Show to have a match against the Shield. Maybe not for the titles, maybe for the titles. Don't expect them to win either, because if Dean Ambrose retains, expect them to retain as well. Or could they? Well, probably not. What else have we got? Del Rio has momentum going into SummerSlam. Hope Christian takes that strap off him. They both don't get a decent reaction, but WWE are stupid, so they thought, oh, we'll give Christian, the veteran who has won everything, the title. Great idea. Why can't you give it to somebody like Wade Barrett? Yeah, great idea, but no, obviously not. Apart from that, the Divas match, which is announced midnight between either one of the Bellas, I believe it's Nikki versus Natalya. Not excited about that match. It's pretty much to promote Total Divas, which is a waste of money for us people who might buy the pay-per-view. And also a waste of TV time where Dean Ambrose and RVD could have possibly been on the full match card. A surprise AJ Lee and Biggie Langston lost to Carly and Natalya. Also, the Real Americans Kofi featured twice tonight, so did Fandango, which is weird. Fandango got some new tights. Not going to end my Raw review on that. It's not even worth mentioning. Looking forward to SummerSlam. Poor build for the mid card and the up and the lower card. Should be a good feud. Looking forward to the match between the Inferno match as well. Quite looking forward to the Ring of Fire match. It's quite an underrated match. They haven't really hyped that a lot. Should be a good feud. yeah, they haven't really hyped that a lot, but it's actually first time it's debuted since the match between MVP in 2007 or 9. I think it was 2007 between Kane, where MVP was put on fire. Yeah, looking forward to that match as well. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, guys. Ended on CM Punk's looking tall, which pretty much proves that Brock Lesnar is going to win and CM Punk's going to take another long break during the end of the summer and autumn, because he's still recovering from that injury he got in the Undertaker match where he jumped off the announce table. So it is actually rumored he's going to take another break. Usually the person that ends up on the high at the end of the show loses. CM Punk ended up on a high. He had momentum going into SummerSlam. Now he's probably going to lose to make it look like, so that when CM Punk does lose, it doesn't look as bad as if Brock Lesnar came out on a high on this show. So it kind of makes CM Punk kind of okay-ish momentum when he loses, because he came out as this show quite high. Doesn't really taint his momentum that much or his actual power that much. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. For this match, apart from the feud for the uppercut, it was like a 5 out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It was a terrible show except for the build for the uppercard. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and goodbye.